Dear students, I welcome you all to this new video lesson in the e-learning series for the subject of Information Technology class 10th. Students, we are discussing database management system, the basic concepts. In the previous session, we discussed the introduction to database and some terms related to database. The most important was the last one, that was the primary key. In this second session, we will move forward in database management system and will learn how to create and edit tables using wizard and SQL commands. So the knowledge that you require, that you already have, is that data in a relational database management system, that is called RDBMS, is organized in the form of tables. There will be various tables that will be connected through the common column. You will now quickly recap what we learned in the session. The first thing is, relational database is a collective set of multiple data organized by tables, records and columns. So we have a bigger entity as database, and inside database we have different tables, and inside tables we have records, and the records have columns or fields. Relational database establish a well-defined relationship between database tables. Tables communicate and share information which facilitates data searchability, organization and reporting. A relational database use structured query language, SQL. Please remember this expansion, structured query language or SQL. This is the language of database. Using this, you communicate through a database. This SQL is a standard user application that provides an easy programming interface for database interaction. Okay. Now, some database objects. The first one is tables. A table is a set of data elements or values that is organized using a model of vertical columns and horizontal rows. A table has a defined number of columns but can have any number of rows. Each row is identified by the values that appear in a particular column, identified by a unique key, that is primary key. The next object is column or fields or attributes. All these three names are synonyms. A column is a set of values of a particular type, one for each row of the table. Please note this point, that each cell will have an atomic value. You cannot put more than one values in a cell. Okay. The columns provide the structure according to which the rows are composed. Okay. So if you are designing a table for student information, so what can be the possible fields? Student ID, student name, date of birth, address, father name, mother name, contact number, email ID and many more. So these are called fields or attributes. Okay. Next point is row, records or tuples. These three also are synonyms. A row, also called a record or tuple, represents a single data item in a table corresponding to a particular entry. Okay. In simple terms, a database table can be visualized as consisting of rows and columns for fields. Each row in a table represents a set of related data. Okay, and every row in the table will have the same structure. So how you will understand a row? Suppose you have designed a student table and you have identified the fields. So if you want to enter your own record, that entire thing will be called the set of all the values related regarding you will be called a record. Suppose you enter the details of 5 of your friends. So those 5 will be called records. So you have entered your information starting from admission number, name, up to date of birth, and many more the things that you have identified as fields. That will be one record. And if you enter the same values, okay, for your friend also, then it becomes another record, and so on. Okay, so I think the concept of row and columns is clear to you. Now we come to the main topic, that is creating database using OpenOffice. As you know, we are working with OpenOffice. Now, how to start database? So first we have to open Office. Okay, by clicking on the Open Office shortcut key. So you will be presented with this image. In this image you have different options. This is for text document, this is for spreadsheet, this is for presentation, this is for drawing, database, and many more. So which should be your choice for this database management system? The choice is very clear, this database. So you have to click on this database link and you will come to know the next dialog box. Which will be the next dialog box? The point here to note is the name of the database here is openoffice.org base, or in short you can call it base. Okay, as the text software was writer, the spreadsheet software was calc, and here the database software is known as base. Okay, so when you select the database option, you will be displayed with this database wizard. Wizard means you have some predefined set of steps that helps you to easily create a particular thing. So here this database wizard will enable you to create a database in OpenOffice page easily with predefined steps. So this will be the first screen. Here you will have the options to create a new database or open an existing database. Okay, so here you will create a new database. Okay, now the next screen will be like this. Do you want to register the database in OpenOffice or not? Okay, after clicking yes, then you will be clicking finish. Now after you have created a new database, there will be a dialog box appearing in front of you that will ask you to specify a name for your database. Okay, so you can specify any name and this will be ODF database. Okay, that's how you save a database name. Now when you click on save and your database has been created, again please try to understand that database is a superset type of entity. Database is a larger entity that contains table contains rows, and rows are consisted of columns. Okay, so you have to remember this hierarchy. Now you have created the database. After saving it, this type of window will appear in front of you. Okay, now after you have created the database, what next thing is to be done is to create tables, which are the most important entity in RDBMS. Okay, so in database just contains of the tables. As as of now it contains of tables. So first you have created a boundary that is called database. Now inside that particular boundary you will be creating your working entities. Those are tables. Okay. So how to create tables? So the first one is to create tables using wizard. Okay. Tables are the basic building blocks of a database. You store the data in the database in form of tables. Tables means collection of rows and columns. Okay, so after creating a database, you will have the options to create table in design view, or you can also use wizard to create a table. So using a wizard is a bit easy way if you are not that much known to the terminologies of database. You may use wizard, and if you are well aware with the terminologies of database and you have worked on some database before, it is better to use design view. Okay. Now after this, suppose you select wizard view to create tables. So how it will be done? So when you click the second option, using wizard to create tables, you will be prompted with this dialog box. First you have to select the category. What type of database are you trying to form? Business type or personal type? So why it is asking for this? Because it already has some sample tables related to it. So you can have some basic outline of the database that you can edit. So in business there are so many things that you can take for you: employees, expenses, invoice details, invoices, mailing list, and many more. Okay, so if you want to select from one of these, you can select. Next, after you have chosen your category and the sample table, then you are not forced to select all the fields from it. You can choose your own fields. Suppose you do not want address, so you can leave it. You want country or origin, you can click this one to get it on your database. Otherwise you can click this button to get all these fields in your side. Okay, this is the sample one. This side, the left hand side, is the sample database, and the fields that will be chosen by you on this right side will be available for your database. Okay, so you do not have to copy all these. You can copy them using these two buttons as per your requirement, and if you want to send any of the fields back, you can use these two buttons. Okay, so after clicking the required number of fields, you can click next. So when you have selected all the fields, by default all the fields will have this data type, text varchar. Okay, we will be dealing with the data types later in this session, so here you do not have to worry about it. So you will have to click on next button. So after clicking on the next button, the new next wizard option will be in front of you. Here suppose you have selected three fields for your database: company name, city, and email address. Then this wizard will help you to form your database through asking you the name, type, length, etc. of that particular column. Suppose you want to change this heading, you can change it here. Company name, you can just want to write company, you can change it. Here you can change the type of the field. Okay, we will be discussing the types later on. Entry required means if it is a required field, or you can skip this. Okay, it can be an optional field or a required field. If entry required is yes, then you have to enter its value, otherwise the data will not be accepted. And here you have to put the length of this field, how many digits or how many characters it should have. Okay, so using this cursor you can just select all these three and can edit the information, and after it you click next. So after setting the properties of the fields, the window to set the primary will open. Now here, as you have studied about the primary key in the previous video lesson, you will have to select a field that will be used to identify rows, or you can say the unique field, okay, that does not have common values. So here you have the options. So you can have a auto field in your database added by this base. Okay, it will be having automatic values, or you can have any existing field, or third option is you can define a primary key as a combination of these. Okay, composite primary key. So there are three options. Either you can ask the software to add the primary key by itself. Okay, it will add. Otherwise, you can select any of the fields as primary key, or you can have a combination of fields. So this window will ask you to set a primary key, which is very important. So choose your primary key very wisely. Okay, so when the primary key will be set, then window to rename the table will be open. Then you will put a name of that table. A user can either go ahead with the same table name, or you can change it. In the same window, options to work with the table will be given as, these will be the options to put the data. The options are insert data immediately. If you have completed your table design, then you can insert the data, or if you want to modify it, you can modify the table design, or you want to create a front end, that is a form. This will be the third option. So these three options will be presented to you. So this the third option is to design the front end through which you will get the values, or you can display the values to the user. Okay. Now the option to insert the data immediately will be selected by default, and you can click on finish. Okay. So this is the screen, how it will be there for you. Then you can click finish. Then after you have clicked finish, you will be presented with this figure, and you can enter the values. This ID has been added as a primary key by the system itself. Then these three were the fields that you have decided. Okay. So now you can enter as many records you want. Okay, but you have to keep in mind that the primary key cannot be the same for more than one records. The basic property of the primary key are two. Number one, it should be unique. Number two, it should not be left blank. You cannot leave this ID field blank. Okay. If you leave it and want to save the table, the software will not allow you to save it. Okay. It will give you a message that you have not entered the value of primary key. Or if you have selected it as auto value, it will automatically add the values for you. Okay. Now, creating table using design view. Okay. Earlier we have discussed creating table using wizard view. Now we will be discussing with design view. In the design view, you have to be ready with the field name, its type, and its description. So this type of window will be presented to you. Here you will type the name of the field, that means the column name. Here you will select the type of the column, and here you will add some description describing the field, that means describing the column you have selected. For example, admission number, type can be character, and description can be it is the admission number of the student. Okay, like this. So Specifying the field name and data type of the field to be created by selecting the appropriate type available. Now, for example, this type of this demo table has been given to you. Here the field names are name, roll number, DOB, class, phone, email, color, location. The data type varchar, var means variable, char means character, tiny int, date, char, integer, varchar, varchar, varchar. Here the length is 53. The type of DOB is DD, MM, YY. Class character 1, 10, 75, 50, 30. Okay. So after writing these details, you can just click on Ctrl S, or you can go to File and Save. So your table will be saved. Okay. If you put this save, and you will be prompted for the table name, you will put the table name, and then it will warn you that you do not have selected a primary key. And if you want the system to create a primary key for you, or you can add yourself. Okay, so these you have. If you want to create the primary key now, you can press yes. So then you will be asked to set a primary key. If you click on yes, the application will set the primary key for the first field created automatically. If you click no, you should see a window similar to the one displayed here. Okay, you can have this table name here. Okay, so you can select the primary key by yourself. Now we come to the more important part, that is data type. Data type means type of data. The type of data you want to enter in the table. You know, table consists of rows and column, and the cell contains the data. So what are the types of data that the database supports? It is called data type. Okay. So what are the possible data types? It can be numeric, alphanumeric, binary, date time, and other types. So first let us come to the numeric type. In numeric type there are two categories. One is whole integers, whole numbers, and the second category is numbers having decimals. Okay. So here we have many data types to deal with numerics. First one is Boolean, which can only have two values, yes or no. Okay. Yes is represented using 1 and no with 0. Okay. Then we have tiny int, that is called small integer, tiny integer. It is having the range 0 to 255. Then small int, then integer, big int, numeric, decimal, real, float, double. So from this numeric type, these are the ones having decimal points. But big int, integer, small int, tiny int, they do not support decimal values. Okay, they just support whole numbers. Okay, so these are the types of data you can choose. And how to choose? Depending upon the most possible value. Okay, suppose you want to have roll number field, so what field will you choose? In a class, how many students can be there? At most 100 or 200. Okay. So the type of roll number field can be tiny int. 0 to 255, it is enough. So you should not go with the big integer because it is having a large range. Suppose you want to store percentage. What field should you choose? You cannot choose integer because it doesn't support point, decimal. Okay, so you should be going with either decimal or numeric. Okay, if you want to have some astronomical distances being stored, then you should go for the largest one, that is double. Okay, so these are the categories, and according to your choice you can choose your data type, okay, depending upon the size you require. Next we have alphanumeric, the data type that supports alphabets and numbers both. Here we have long varchar, char, varchar and varchar ignore case. The most important used are these two, char and varchar. Char is having fixed length. Here you have to specify the length. You cannot exceed the number of characters. Then we have varchar. This is variable character. This is char means character. It is variable character. Here your length will be decided upon your input. Okay. So these are the alphanumeric types. So you better select char, then you have to put the length in the parenthesis, otherwise select varchar. Okay. Then we have some binary types where we store the data in binary format in the form of 0 and 1. So binary data types in database can be used for storing photos, music files. Okay. In general, files of any format can be stored using binary data. Actually, the photos and the audio video you see or here are the collection of binary data. Okay. So here you have long var binary, binary and var binary. Okay. The most used are long var binary to store the image. If you want to store the image of student, then you should use this one, or you can go for binary. Okay. And this one is var binary. Clear? Next we have data type to support date and time. Here we have date, time and timestamp. So if you want to store your date of birth, so you should select date. If you want to store some time of birth, then you should go for time. And if you want to store both, suppose you want to store the time of entering the school with date, then it is called timestamp, a stamp of time and date. Okay. Some other data types are also there called object. So if these are the values taken for a demonstration, so how to enter these values in a table? So you have to just double click the name of table you just created and start entering the values. This will be the window where you will enter the values. You can enter it. This arrow will represent the row where you are entering the values, and you can enter as many values you want, and there will be the record count here, and you can save it. Now at the end of this video lesson we have some activities. It was very interesting lesson. Here you have to create a database for a stationery shop. The fields are given, but the type is to be decided by you. You are well aware about the data types. You can create on your own. Then create a database for school library. Okay. You have to choose the fields very wisely. The data type should be a wise selection by you. Then the third one is a create a database for maintaining a song collection. Okay. So you have to write these three database in your notebook: the type, the name of the field, type of the field and its size. Okay. Then to assess your progress, here are some questions to fill in the blanks. These are very easy. You can easily do it. Okay. After the fill in the blanks, there are some short answer questions. Requiring the data from your side. Okay, you must know all the data types that we have discussed, their characteristics, their name, okay, and the difference among them. So these are the questions for you at the end of this session. So I think it was a very informative and fruitful lesson for you. And it is very important if you want to pursue computer science in your future classes. The concept of database is very important. Wherever you go, you find this database. Any application is not complete without a database. So you must know how to create a database. Okay, so go through this video again and again until everything is clear to you. And if you have any doubts, you can ask. Until then, goodbye.